Alright, here's the quick explanation to go along with Spot Check 22. It was a lesson quiz given to first period last Friday. It's on standard SSE. Have to factor these completely and then sketch. So there's two different techniques going on here. For function f, you had to see the GCF was x. Remember to always look for a greatest common factor first. And then when you factor that out of these four terms, you get this four-term polynomial, which you have to do factor by grouping. So you split it up. Now I'm looking for what GCF comes out of those two terms. It's x squared. So divide out an x squared from each of those terms. What's left over? X plus 3. Now look for the second two terms. What's the GCF of those two terms? It's negative 4. If they're both negative, always pull out the negative. And what's left over? X plus 3. That is what you want. You want the binomial to be the same that becomes the GCF from these two terms inside the big parentheses. What's these two things have in common? They have an x plus 3 in common. So when I factor out the x plus 3 of each of them, what's left over? Just x squared minus 4. Now x squared minus 4 you have to recognize also as difference of two squares. Factors into x plus 2x minus 2. And now we can sketch. We have four distinct zeros and our end behavior like this. So plot them all and draw your sketch. Alternatively, over here, if you start off with an x to the fourth, but you have a trinomial, always use the magic x. This one breaks down into, let's see, negative 5 and positive 4. It's minus 4 and minus 1. So that's how I get x squared minus 4 and x squared minus 1. Remember, the squared happens if you start off with an x to the fourth. You had to see that both of these were differences of two squares, and so we have four distinct zeros. Excuse me. We had four distinct zeros with this end behavior, and the y-intercept was 0, positive 4. Excuse me, by the way, this was an even function, which is why you see a symmetric graph. I guess I should have labeled like that to be technically correct. All right, that's it.